Hey, it's Scott Hammond here with that old boy over here. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Charles. I'm an RA here at Infinite Recovery.
Yeah, he's the good one. So, kind of what we do here is a little bit of your history. Start with how you began using drugs and alcohol, kind of what that looked like,
Yeah.
things of that.
I started using when I was about 13 years old. I had switched schools because I was kind of misbehaving where I was at, and I was failing school. I already had this kind of issue before I started finding drugs. I was already starting to get involved with like the bad kids, all that kind of thing. And I switched schools, and I got with the group of kids there. They were talking about how they like smoking weed. That sounded like a good idea because I was really bored. I felt really awkward, really out of place. And yeah, I got with them, and as soon as I did that, that's like when I found something that like made me feel like finally comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and from then on, it just progressively got worse and worse. And like as soon as I did it, I was just hooked, and yeah, that's where it all started.
yeah. It's like you just find that group. Kind of did the same thing where like I'd never really fit in, and just so much easier to like fit in with the stoners,
It was
kind of.
much easier.
Yeah. So how did it escalate from there? Were there any things that kind of set off more into your addiction?
Yeah, there was a lot of things that happened. I actually, because I was doing so bad there, getting in trouble doing drugs there, my parents thought, oh, it must be because I moved over there. That's what my problem was.
Mm.
So I moved back to where I was from, and actually, where I'm from is it's Warren, Michigan. It's a suburb of Detroit, and there's just all kinds of drugs there. It's one of the worst cities in America for opioid addiction.
Oh, wow.
Um, so yeah, I did the same thing there. I got with all the bad kids, started getting back into every worse and worse drugs. By the time I was 15, I was already smoking crack, um, and I started getting into prescription opiate pills, and got addicted to those. And those started to not work after a while. And heroin was just readily available in Detroit. It's just a quick drive down the road, and you got it. So um, yeah, at about 17 years old, I was already shooting heroin.
Dang.
And it just all went downhill from there.
Yeah. How did you know getting into recovery? I mean, that seems like a pretty quick path, and like you were really young, man.
Well, my parents knew what was going on from the whole time, the beginning, because I couldn't hide it at all.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad, and it was an everyday thing. It was an all day thing. If I wasn't high, I was doing something to try to get high. I was manipulating my parents. I was trying to get money, whatever it was, and I was really not happy if I wasn't high. So it was pretty obviously there was stuff going on there. Um, I first went to rehab. They sent me to rehab when I was about 15 the first time.